Okay, so there's there comes times in our lives where we really start to see the fruits of our yogic practice. Um, we do all this training of the mind and of the body for the everyday, for all the things that we experience every day. But then there are circumstances that come, like what's happening right now in our country. And it seems like there's always something, right? Like there's a lot of angst in our world, and it just seems to be rising, rising, rising. So I think it's a really important time to recognize the tools that you have. When the fear and stress and anger gets to be at a place where you have to kind of manage it, where there's need to kind of condense what input is coming into you and to maximize how you are in the world. Our yoga practice is just such a beautiful gift. Truly, truly, it's a beautiful gift. So I just encourage you um, to lean into your practice, not just the stepping on the mat that you do and showing up to our Zoom classes, but all the things that you've learned over the years in your spiritual practices and in your yoga practice to bring all those tools up to the very surface of you so that they are just right there on the table, accessible for you to use right now on the everyday. I read a quote this morning that I want to read to you. I can't pronounce who wrote this. But anyway, the quote is from Grateful Living, and this is it. May such calm of soul be mine. May such calm of soul be mine, so as to meet the force of circumstances. I think this is really important that we have to meet the current circumstances with the calmness of our soul. And how do we do that? We do that by the practices that we know. Okay, so how are you managing it? So as you close your eyes and find a comfortable seat, as personal challenges, global challenges, country challenges, community challenges kind of show up in your life, how do you maintain a calm of soul so that our actions, our words can be of utmost clarity and productiveness, that we our voice and our actions actually do something good instead of just scramble about with the emotional states that we're living in. So may such calm of soul be mine, so as to meet the force of circumstances. So close your eyes and let's come into a comfortable seat and turn your attention inward. Let that pratyahara, the eyes closing, give you the inward view, the paying attention to the inside, kind of dropping away from all the external influences at this moment and bringing yourself into what's happening inside you. Find your breath and begin to slow it down. Maybe counting is a happy place for you to live inside your breath. Maybe you don't need to count, but just see if you can stretch the breath out. And if you are counting on that metronome kind of rhythm, to have the equality of inhale or exhale, or the exhales a little longer. But try to stretch the breath to a challenging place, but not to an overwhelming place where the fullness of your breathing makes you just a teeny bit uncomfortable, a teeny bit hungry for your next breath, but not to a place where you're grasping. Okay, so we don't want to have two good breaths and then all of a sudden we have to breathe real quick. Okay, so modulate to get to a place where the steadiness of your breathing is sustainable and ever so slightly uncomfortable. not significantly uncomfortable. Start to train yourself to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, to discipline your breath, to control just a little bit what we have control over. And notice the calming effect. When you get that sweet spot, and you have to practice this, it's not something that you just know automatically. When you get that sweet spot where your breath can be slow and steady and sustainable in this place, there's a deep calming to the nervous system. May we have such calm of soul. Allow your shoulders to soften. Allow your body to respond to your breathing. And recognize that as you do this, these deposits you're making in the bank of ease are not for naught. You know, even if you're not anxious in this moment, even if you don't need this steadiness of your mind in this moment, practicing these tools will give you access to them when you need them quickly and easily. We cumulatively gain capacity in our breathing by practicing over and over. Now, see, as we move into our physical practice today, if you can keep this modulation of this pace of your breath. So if you start to move too fast or too effortful, where the breath gets choppy or you feel gulping and grasping for breath, then let your priority be to slow yourself down, to pause, to return to your breathing, and let your primary emphasis of the practice to be today be about this breath modulation. Once again, scan one more time through your body and notice if there's any place that can slough some tension off. Honor whatever it is that you're feeling. Give space in the body for emotional states, physical states to change and move. Let your breath be the flow like the river, that all the things that are stressful in body, mind, and soul can just be moved into the breath and flow with the breath. Bring your hands together. And as you do this, even though this is a deeply personal practice, recognize your community. All that are here today online, as well as beyond your yoga community, but just your sense of community, your sense of connection. Recognize that this also is a healing balm for the soul. So let's offer gratitude for the connections that we have, the ways in which we feel a sense of belonging, a sense of support, the ways in which we offer ourselves into our communities. And any other intentions you have, share them in your mind and heart here. And we'll release your hands and notice if your breath already got a little quiet or a little shorter or a little bit more shallow. And it's okay, this is going to happen. Just let it happen and then just keep returning. Every time you think of it, just keep returning to that rhythm of the breath. We'll start out on our back. As you stretch out and lengthen your body, enjoy something so simple as just letting your body rest in a little mini Shavasana before we begin. Consciously let tension release from your body. be very conscious of embodiment even before we start moving. Let the breath diffuse through you. And then stretch your arms overhead and let's have some joy of moving. So reaching one side and reaching the other side and just coming into that nice feeling of stretching, kind of welcoming. And then draw your knees into your chest, a little bit of rocking to and fro. Let your nervous system feel the rock. Right, and then hang on to the knees and let's circle, kind of rolling one way, rolling the other way. Okay. And then we'll open up our knees away from the midline and bring them back in and just enjoy what you're feeling in your hips. Okay, right knee into your chest, left leg long, and move around in your feet, wiggling your toes, getting your feet alive and aware. Keep your head nice and resting on the ground. Relax your shoulders. Start to invite that breath up into your body. See if you can modulate the rhythm and pace as best as you can. And if you forget, no worries. Just every time you think of it, return back to the breath. Let's twist open to the side. Stretch through your chest. Reach your hand. Find that extension through your shoulder, your ribs, your spine, your chest. And then we'll come back to center, bring that knee in. Bend your left knee, put it on the ground. We'll come to a half happy baby pose with your right leg. Press your knee down toward the ground with your hand on your foot. We drop our knee toward the ground. And then straighten that right leg all the way onto the ground. Bring your left knee into your chest and maybe move around in your feet again. Wiggle through your toes, roll around, release any tension through your skull. A nice heavy head, finding your breath. We'll cross that left knee over to the right, stretch open through your chest, maybe turn your head and just invite some big breathing, some big spaciousness into this twist. And then bring that left knee back into your chest, bend your right knee, put your right foot on the floor, half happy baby pose with this leg. Press down with your hand on your foot, dropping your knee toward the ground. And then we'll join the other leg. So a full happy baby. Grab both feet, open up your lumbar spine, drop your knees down, release your head. A little bit of rocking to and fro if it feels nice. And then we'll open up to a star and stretch your limbs wide. Say hello to your whole body. Let's roll your wrists, wiggle your fingers. Maybe scrunch up your face and then stretch your face and stick your tongue out. Just kind of find what works. Ah. And then draw your knees into your chest, around your spine. And then we'll roll to the side and come up to your hands and your knees. As you find your way to all fours, we'll start to begin with some cat-cows. So as you arch and round the spine, the most important thing is to find your breath. This is a great place, a great pose to start modulating the breath in. There's a lot of opportunity to feel the fullness of your inhale and the fullness of your exhale. Try to get that modulated pace that's just right for you. A rhythm that's sustainable, that's caring for the self, that's calming for the mind, calming for the soul. Breathing deeply. Breathing fully. Maybe your eyes are closed, maybe they're open, maybe eyes open is better for your nervous system. You do you, okay, but let yourself kind of tune in to the inner world, what the breath feels like, what the movements of the body feel like. And then any kind of movement you want, you can wag your tail, you can move around in your ribs and your shoulders. Take stock of your breath, keep noticing what it's doing. All right, and then we'll drop into a child's pose and take the arms out in front of you and lengthen through your shoulders here. Reach your fingers, inch them forward, spread open your palms, and stretch through your body, reaching through your all the way through to your tail, and notice your breath here. We'll walk the hands one side, feel that stretching through your ribs, enjoy, open this up. And then come back to center, up on tall fours before we do the other side, and then take your left leg straight back behind you, cross the left leg over to the right, and turn and look at that foot. And keeping that side body stretch now, lengthening into your ribs and hip. And then come back to center, back to a child's pose. Walk the hands over to the other side. Feel that reaching through your side. Breathe. And then we'll come back to all fours. Come on up. Take your right foot behind you. Curl your toe under. Cross that foot over. Take a look at it. Big breath in. Long breath out. How is the modulation of the breath going for you? Back to all fours. Let's find a movement of cat-cow. Lift your chin, touch your teeth, and then round the spine. Feel the broadness. When you come back to neutral, we'll find a twist, reaching the arm up. Maybe a little swirl of your wrist. Exhale to drop that shoulder down. Twisting to the side. Relax your skull. Take yourself slightly away from the edges of your poses. So, some days it feels really good to go deep and to kind of find, the edges of your poses. But today, let the focus be about the breath. And oftentimes that modulation of the breath happens when we're not at our extremes. All right, and then reach that arm all the way back up, hand to the sky. Reach that hand down. Before we do the other side, take your palms down, but fingers facing toward you. And then just curl your toes under so you have a little more height underneath you and rock back and forth, just stretching through your hands and your forearms a little bit here. And then we'll switch and turn our palms up toward the sky. Sit back onto your heels. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward, stretching through those forearms. And then inhale up onto your shins, rising up, open heart. Exhale, floating down. Modulate the breath. When you're ready, inhaling, rising up to the shins. Exhaling, lowering back down. Back onto all fours. We'll find the other side. So reaching the arm up, roll your wrist around, twist to the side. Notice if in the transitions you kind of lose your breath, return. Whenever you think of it, return to the breath. Melting through the base of the skull. A nice sense of surrender in this pose. Inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Find yourself into a full dog pose. Feeling that extension and length in the body. Give yourself a little bit of time to find this pose. Pedal your feet. Ground yourself. Feel your hands and feet touching. Give yourself back to the breath.
Melt your neck, melt your head, find any pocket of tension and do what you can to surrender. Put your tension into the flow of your breath. All right, walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax here, melt. You can grab onto your elbows if you want, or just dangle your hands. Blocks if you like them. Find your way to a halfway lift, finding extension in the body. Let's pedal your feet while you're here, opening up those hamstrings and moving your hips a little bit, dropping a hip back, then dropping the other hip back. Find your breath. Ground yourself again, push through your feet, rising up. Bring the arms to the sky. Exhale and trace down through the center of the body. Pause in Samastiti. Modulating the breath. Inhale, rising again. When your exhale comes, cactus, open your arms. Take a deep breath, stay here. Exhale and round in, chin to chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and float forward. Halfway lift on the breath in. A full fold on the breath out. Repeat that one more time. A halfway lift. Find the inhale. Modulating the breath. Exhale and fold. Step back to a dog pose. Deep breath in. Exhale to pause here. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Exhale, stay. Shoulder blades down the back, modulating your breath. Find the breath in. As the exhale comes, we'll find the ground. Breath in to come up to a cobra. Breath out to surrender. Let's do that one more time. Shoulders back, breathing. Melt to let go. Up on tall fours. Have a moment on your hands and knees here. Just move how you want. How's the breath? Lift to a dog pose and in breath. And then out breath to be here. Just drop into the pose. On your breath in, walking your feet forward, forward fold. Melt to fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Surrender again. Push through the feet, rising up. Tracing down through the center. Finding your breath. Grounding into the earth. Find that calmness of soul. Let your practice be the balm to bring you calm. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale and melt again. A halfway lift, extending through the body. Exhale, left foot back. Find some movement. Where do you like to straighten your leg? Where do you like to bend your knee? Keep that breath modulation. I'm talking, So it's hard to modulate my breath while I'm talking. So if my pace goes off from your pace, totally fine. You stay in your pace. So stay in the rhythm of the modulation of your breath that you're cultivating, that's sustainable, that is making you feel calm, that's bringing peace into the mind body. Drop your knee down to the ground when you feel ready and open up into this lunge, reaching your arm up to the sky. Two hands coming up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, index fingers pointing up. Reach out of the pelvis and extend. Press into the ground and keep breathing. We'll release the hands down to the ground. Bring your hands to the inside edge of your right foot and just butterfly that knee out a little bit. And as the movement becomes a little faster than the breath, still find the breath. All right, and then bring your hand onto the inside of the knee and be mindful of your low back in this. Press into the left hand onto the ground to support you and turn your head to look up as you press the knee out. All right, and then release. Come back in toward the center. Half Hanumasana, hands on blocks. Maybe bow your head, but try not to collapse the spine. We're staying nice and long. Bring your foot back down into a lunge. Reach your back knee up off the ground. Root down. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. A big, open, spacious body. Expand. And then we're going to turn sideways on the mat and take a wide-legged stance here, elbows inside your knees. Long spine, ground into your feet. Maybe you like rocking a little bit left and right. Sink the hips down a little lower, find your breath. We'll drop our weight deep into our right foot. Bend that knee, stretch open through the left inner thigh and reach your heart forward. Okay, we'll come back, walk to the other side, bring your blocks with you if you'd like, or hands on the ground, stretching open through that inner thigh. Your left knee is bent as far as your body will allow it to go. Finding the breath. Coming back to that deep squat again, elbows inside your knees. And then we'll turn back to the front of the mat and find a dog pose. When you get here, find your breath again. A deep inhale, a full exhale. Come forward into a plank. Push the ground away, stay, integrate. Still finding that full fluid breath. On the next exhale, we'll come down. Take your arms out in front of you, palms on the ground. Stretch wide, lift up, legs a little wider, lengthen. Exhale to come back down. Push through your feet, rising all fours. Back to a child's pose. Exhale. Come forward into a lunge. Maybe your hands come on blocks, left foot's in front. Enjoy that knee down for a moment. Push through your feet. We'll rise up, bringing the arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers. Press down to rise up. Use your legs. Still finding that fullness of your breath. Feel the expansiveness of your heart. Let the calmness of soul bring you into courage, heart courage. And then bring the hands down onto the ground. Lift that knee up off the ground, finding a lunge. We'll bend and straighten here, moving slowly. Moving slowly, moving with the breath. Where do you want to inhale? Where do you want to exhale? Go ahead and put that knee back down onto the ground and come into a half Hanumasana here. Hands on blocks if you'd like, long spine, bow your head. Finding breath. Come back into your lunge. Keep that knee down onto the ground. Bring your hands to the inside edge of your left foot, and you can turn your left foot out a little bit if you'd like. Start to butterfly that knee, open and close a little bit. Just kind of welcoming in some movement into that hip joint, and then we'll go a little further. So drop weight into the right hand, right shoulder blade on the back. So we're nice and stable. We're not using our left hand on our knee to stabilize us. We're using our right arm to stabilize us. And then gently press into the left knee. Open up, engage your core so that you're not sinking and falling into the low back or pelvis. And then come back. Bring that foot into a neutral place. Bring your hands back up onto the blocks. Knee comes up off the ground. Find your lunge. Find your breath. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Arms coming upward to the sky. Stabilize yourself. And then walk your back foot forward and come to Samastitihi again. A breath in. A breath fully out. On your next breath in, rise up. Bring your arms to the sky. Exhale and float forward. A halfway lift, opening up through your body. Exhale to melt. Rising all the way up again. This time turn sideways on your mat so your legs are nice and wide. Take a deep breath in. We'll come down to a goddess. Slow modulation of the breath. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to come down. And you might notice that as you begin to have a little bit more efforting in the body, that the breath pace wants to speed. And that's okay if you need to go a little faster in your breath, but see what you can do to have that uncomfortably comfortable place of breathing. Drop into your goddess, stay here, lift your heart, ground into your feet, open up your knees, finding breath. And then we'll stand to a standing star. Breathing in, breathing out. Turn your feet to the right. Find your way into Virabhadrasana. Warrior. What does it mean to be a warrior? Can you find the open heart? Can you find the courage in your body, the stamina and will and strength within you? Can you marry that strength to the breath? Can you marry that strength to the calmness of your soul? As you notice things getting more fiery, more challenging in your body, can you still modulate the breath? That tapas, the willingness to endure a strong sensation in the service of transformation. The more we are comfortable with the uncomfortable,
the more self-sustaining we can become. And then we'll come all the way up. Bring your arms up, turn your feet to the other way, Virabhadrasana to the left. This proud warrior. Find your strength, your stamina. Drop into your legs. Feel the earth support you. Get any tension you feel across your neck to subside a little bit. Relax your shoulders. Stretch from your heart to your hands. Engage your triceps. Hug them onto your bones so that the strength of your arms out isn't just coming from your neck and shoulders. Full breaths. Come into your legs. Root down. Comfortably uncomfortable in the breath. Modulate the rhythm of your breathing. Can you stay calm even when you have to work hard? Straighten your legs, heel toe your feet in, and come to a place of just grounding. Find your breath again. We'll move through a vinyasa one more time. Inhale, steady the breath. Arms up, exhale, floating forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale back to dog pose. Pause here for another round of breath. A nice full inhale. A complete exhale. On the next breath in, we'll come forward. Hold here. One more round of breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale, find the ground. This time, everything up off the ground. Reach the arms and legs wide. Lift up. Do a couple of breaths while you're here. Exhale, bring the hands back down and find your way to a dog or a child's pose and compress the legs. Modulate the breath. If it starts to speed up, see what you can do to slow it down. Find your way to a dog pose. Take your feet a little wider and expand the breath into the lower abdomen. Go ahead and walk your feet forward. Uttanasana. When your breath in comes, we rise. Trace down through the center. Pause here, breathe here. Now come into a tree pose. Drop your weight into your right foot. Bring your left foot up, or not so up, or even the toes touching the ground. Just anywhere but your heel at your knee. Anywhere but there. Open up through your breath. Engage your legs. Press foot and leg into each other. Open that knee up. Maybe your arms rise. Maybe your gaze softens. Modulate the breath. Even if you're wobbly and falling out of the pose and getting back in, see if you can stay with the breath. Calm mind. And then we'll release that foot down onto the ground. Let your 2 feet find their way into the earth evenly. Take the opportunity to reconnect with the breath. If it got a little choppy or a little shallow or you lost sight, Return now. We'll take our weight into our left foot and bring our right leg up. So just anywhere but the heel. You don't want the heel at the knee. Anywhere but there. Open up the knee, hug that straight leg into your foot. Ground yourself, the hips engaged. Maybe your arms lift up, maybe they don't. Maybe your gaze focuses somewhere in front of you or on the ground. Soften your eyes. Find that breath. Regardless of the wobble of your body, the success or failure, there is no success or failure. Whatever the movement or stillness paradigm or spectrum is, we're staying with the breath. And then we'll release that foot down onto the ground. Inhale up. Bring your feet together. Exhale to a chair. Press into the ground. Maybe your arms reach up. Maybe your arms are wide. Maybe your arms are back. Maybe your palms are together. Modulate the breath. And then we'll come up onto the toes. Find your inhale. Exhale. Surrendering your feet back down. Take your feet apart, and we're going to find Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Turn your right foot out. Use a block if you need. Take a deep breath in. I'm shortening up my stance here because I don't have a lot of room. Come on up into the pose. Block can be under your hand if you need it. Half moon. Try not to arch the back. See if you can draw the ribs in. Lift that leg up. Finding your breathing. If you want to, you can reach back and grab your foot. I know we didn't do a lot of quad prep for this, so Chapasana if your body is ready. Okay, and reach that leg out, open the chest, and then a big step out of the pose. Notice what your breath is doing. Did you hold your breath? Were you able to modulate it well? Is there a sense of calm in your mind, even when you're doing a challenging pose like a balance pose? If you wobble or fall out of it, can you stay calm in the mind and not attached to the results of your efforts? It doesn't matter whether you have good balance or not. It's the process of both the body and the mind. Okay, left foot points out. We'll come into the posture, reach that leg in the air, draw your ribs in, puff your kidneys so your low back's not arched. If you fall, that's okay. Just keep coming back. Open the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Lift that leg strongly in the air. Finding breath. Modulate your pace of breathing. If you want to do Chapasana and grab onto your foot, go ahead. Be very mindful that we're still moving the tail toward the knee. The ribs are moving in. Keep that knee lifted so you're not dropping it down, but keeping it in line with the hip. Open chest. Modulate the breath. Unlock your standing knee. It's a lot of time to spend in a balance pose, so notice what happens in the body and mind. Come on out when you're ready. If your breath got away from you, bring it home. Standing in Tadasana. Ground your legs. Inhale, lift your arms. We'll exhale to fold.
Inhale for a halfway. Release again. Return to that nice pace of the breath. Dog pose on the in-breath. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to a plank. Lower yourself down. Back bend of your choice. Maybe you're ready for a full Urdhva Dhanurasana. You can grab your ankles. Maybe you're in a cobra or a locust. You do you. Let the breath deepen. Might quicken, and that's okay, but let it stay full. All right, relax. Come out of there. Bring your left knee up high toward your armpit. Turn and look at your knee. We'll cross the right arm over and roll into a twist. Just like that beginning twist that we did, see if you can just find that open chest. Full deep breath in. Full deep breath out. Coming back to center, we'll switch sides, bring that knee up. When you feel ready for the twist, we'll take our left arm, cross it over to the right, underneath you, and then twist open. Find your breath over and over. Coming back to center, come up onto all fours, give your spine a little bit of a wiggle. Let's find a full cat-cow. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round. Take this down to a child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front of you and lengthen. We're going to find pigeon pose or any variation of a hip pose that is your favorite. And we'll take our right leg in front of us, or maybe on your back. You do you. We'll do the right leg first. Reaching upward first, finding that extension in your body. And then when you're ready, come on the exhale down to rest your forehead on a block. Take any variation that works for you. Square hips, long spine, relax. Relax your hands and your shoulders. And bring yourself fully into the breath again. So bring home that sensation of a full deep inhale and a full long exhale. Self-sustaining. So choose the pace that works for you. Where there's just the teeniest bit of breath hunger, but it's sustainable. You can keep the rhythm going. Notice if the pause at the bottom of the exhale is starting to naturally come. If it's that quiet place, pay attention to that quiet place at the bottom of the exhale. In between your two sides, let's do a dog pose. So find yourself lifting back up. Extend your sit bones high, reach your heels back toward the wall behind you and down. Open up your hamstrings. Feel free to take your legs wider or narrower. Feel free to drop weight, bend a knee, pedal, lift a hip. What feels good? And then we'll take the pigeon pose on the left. You do you if there's different pose living in your body. Take a moment for the upright variation before coming into sleeping pigeon, where we have extension in our body, length, square the hips, and then from that length, reach forward. So we're coming down with length instead of collapse. Support your head. Scan your body for melting. Relax everything that doesn't need to be in effort. Okay, so the only efforting is in squaring the hips, stabilizing the pelvis, a teeny bit of core, and then lengthening the spine. Once you're there, melt the arms, melt the hands, melt the face. Modulating your breath. All right, we'll come back up very gently. We'll come out of the pose. Come onto your right side, lying on your side. We'll grab onto the left front ankle and stretch that quad. Let the hip flexor lengthen a little bit so we're opening up through the front of the hip and the front of the quads. The knee is not high up in the air, it's in line with our hip, tail down, pubic bone up. Is your head supported? Is there ease in your upper body? Okay, bring that knee in toward your chest. And then we'll roll and repeat on the other side. Bring a head block for your head or a blanket for your head if you want. Knee in. Draw that heel back. So we're getting our heel close to our buttocks or touching our buttocks. The knee is in line with the hip, not elevating. Stabilize the pelvis. Finding your breath. All right, draw your knee in toward your chest. And then we'll come rolling onto our back. Bring your knees in, a little bit of rocking. Perhaps a happy baby pose, perhaps a twist. Whatever feels good, perhaps a moment of Supta Baddha Konasana. So just take your time in your transition. If there's any other posture you need before Shavasana, if you're at all cold and would like to have some covering, put your sweater or socks on, put a blanket over you. Make sure your eyes don't have bright lights in them. So take your time to move into Shavasana. Finishing up your poses, whatever it is that you're doing, to make your body feel good. And when you come into Shavasana, of course, we're always feeling that sense of breathing and melting and dropping. And see if you can come back into that regulation of your breath, where our breath calms our mind. Think of it like a healing balm for the mind, for the heart.
Notice your exhales and let your whole body melt down with the exhale. Train your nervous system to respond to your exhales deeply, profoundly. When your inhales come, enjoy, bring in refreshment. Melting on the exhale to surrender, just feel supported, relaxed, safe. And when you feel the inhale rise, renewal. And find a little bit of movement as you're breathing. You can stretch your arms, stretch your legs. And eventually finding your way onto your side. And as you begin to come up, be slow. Take your breath with you, gather your breath and bring it. And as you come to an upright seat, be very slow and bring your hands together at your heart. Pause to notice your breath again. Do you feel a sense of calm in your soul? I hope so, just a little bit more than when we began. And recognize that when we are calm, when we have this sense of inner resiliency, we can meet the circumstances that confront us with a sense of steadiness, a sense of courage, a sense of clarity, connection. Let's offer this energy outward, spread it all around. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.